Hey everybody, welcome back to the League of Legends stream. We are here with the first semi-final match between Counterlogic Gaming and Team Dignitas. CLG and Dignitas, two great teams, both of them going 2-0 in the first games of yesterday, and they're here to hopefully get into the final two. The winner, of course, will move on to the grand finals and the chance at first place. The loser will be stuck in third, fourth, and will actually fight it out for bragging rights at the very least there. So I am Freak, I'm joined with Rivington.
Good day.
The third.
Indeed.
Forgot that part. It's part of your name.
1, 2, 3.
It's like if you called me Fur, that wouldn't really make any sense.
No, I don't think that would work out too well.
Yeah, that'd be lame. But yes, we are here and we are good to go. Looks like we do have the players in the game. CLG, blue team, first pick, first ban, all that stuff. And actually, I'm gonna let the players know it's time to go. You can hear me type, of course. Mechanical keyboards, awesome and all that. So let's run this.
I'm really excited to see these matches. You know, CLG, as we said, and Dignitas, actually everybody coming out 2-0 on the day yesterday, yep. Besides the teams, obviously, unfortunately, that have been kicked out. And we are going to see Dignitas playing at Curse yesterday. They did very well their first game, and I thought Curse would actually come back on that second one. So Dignitas did show a little bit of falter there, but they were able to bring it back into the gameplay they were used to, their LAN experience coming in, and they were able to take that one. CLG had a very dominating day yesterday, I believe, against Goose. So we'll have to see really how these guys can come back, compared now to these two top caliber teams.
Yeah.
And we'll see what they can do.
Yeah, I'm really excited for the day. But yeah, so we were talking a little bit about the earlier matches, as you said. Dignitas, they won their first game yesterday without even taking a death. They just pooped on everyone. They took that game with no worries at all. But interestingly, both CLG and Dignitas, they both had that one game where they stomped really hard, and they both had the one game where like they almost lost it. Yep. So CLG's very first game of the day against Goose, Big Fat LP got first blooded. They lost first dragon. They were down like 4-1 in kills, and they finally came back and started winning it. And in talking with Goose this morning, they're like, yeah, we beat ourselves the first game. That was just bad. The second game, they stomped us. You know, they deserved it. Dignitas kind of the same way. They just like crushed game one and they like started throwing away game two. The game was like 50 minutes long. It was really, really, really good. And they finally took it over with like 3 Baron kills and things like that. But they had made a lot of mistakes throughout the game. So we're gonna see if these teams bring in their mistake-filled giving away first blood by getting flung into a turret, or if they bring their like super awesome crush mode, like kill people from halfway across the screen with needly spears and never lose a champion. But the picks and bans have started. The bans are already in.
Is quite happy.
Yeah. So right away that Udyr grab, of course, away from Jat. They know it's first pick, and they're like, hey, you know, we're gonna steal that Udyr away. So these teams are actually picking against the other teams. Right? You see the bans here: Zillion, Nidalee, Lee Sin aimed at CLG, Morgana, Talon, Trundle aimed at Dignitas. And CLG knows, again, you know, we can first pick. We're gonna take Udyr away from Dignitas.
Who was that Talon yesterday?
Talon was Scarra.
Yeah,
Scarra.
So Scarra with double bloodthirsters coming into late game as Talon, farming top by himself the entire time in a 1v1. Like an amazing game, and that's such a targeted ban right there. Obviously, the Nidalee for Hotshot, he was playing that yesterday. Their poke comp, and they actually took out Trundle as well, so they couldn't do anything with that. So, you know, Dignitas was watching very closely at what CLG was bringing to the table yesterday.
Yeah, and Morgana banned out away from Cicero. Trundle, I guess, is aimed at Jat. Jat seemed to play a couple of Trundle games yesterday as well. But Dignitas has their first 2 picks in. They have Ryze and Sona. I'm surprised at the early Ryze pick, because I don't think CLG plays. I don't think they actually play Ryze, so kind of an interesting choice because I don't think he's very contended. Sona definitely one that CLG seems to pick most often. Element seems most often to play Sona. CLG with some great picks here. Wow, Kog'Maw and Galio. So
I like it.
Very interesting. Yeah, I feel like we're going to see probably Caitlyn picked to like try to counter Kog'Maw with that early lane, which then makes me surprised to see Sona because Caitlyn is such a strong lane specifically. But we're going to see how this plays out. Chowster playing. Is actually going to be the Kog'Maw player most definitely, and that's actually it's a very, very high damage range DPS champion. So actually, let's take a step back and explain League of Legends right now.
For sure.
So as you can see here, there's a lot of portraits on the screen. These are all champions. I'm going to actually scroll through, and you can see that there are 80 plus, 83 right here in this patch. And basically, as a player, you control one of these 80 champions, and you play in this map 5 versus 5 team-based battle. And there's the Caitlyn, awesome. And it's 5-on-5, and you're going to sort of take your champion, and they have usually specific roles. Some are tanks, some are support champions, some are mages, things like that. And the object of the game is to kill enemy champions, and as you destroy the enemy forces, you push through into the enemy base, you destroy the base, you blow it up, you win the game. And so it's all about combat against your enemy players. And because these are all unique, specialized champions, they have their inherent strengths and weaknesses. Caitlyn, for example, extremely safe, long range, really good early on especially. That range can be used to push back enemies and keep them from doing what they want to do. Kog'Maw specifically, very, very high damage, but a little bit less safe. Has no innate escaping tool, so if someone jumps on him, he's probably going to keep taking damage, whereas Caitlyn can keep getting back from their opponents, and actually she can stay rather safe here. But both of them are normally sort of ranged, damage-dealing, persistent damage champions. A couple more picks coming through. Nocturne being grabbed for Dignitas. There's the jungler choice here. He's a big melee assassin type, kind of gets in there, fights people. Probably going to be jumping on that Kog'Maw a lot.
Wow. Yeah. Finally, Big Fat LP gets to play as Cassiopeia. You're going to see that switch between Big Fat and Hotshot for Galio and Cass. So that'll go down. We'll have to see really such a strong laner, Cassiopeia, such little mana required to use, and her abilities just, once you're poisoned, can like half-second attack you with that Fang, and she really can do a lot of damage, and her sustain in lane early game is really big. She kind of falls off late game, so we're definitely going to have to see if CLG can be aggressive enough to prevent that from happening.
Yeah, Cassiopeia is certainly, best known for her laning phase, absolutely. She might be fighting against Ryze, so the other solo has not yet been chosen. We're going to see if they give, maybe like Nasus to Locicero, something like that. We're not quite sure yet what they're going to do. There's a lot of really opportunities here for this lineup. Now that CLG has picked all their champions, it's time for Dignitas to say, can we counter any of these lanes? Is there a lane that we can take that will completely crush you? Ooh, Akali, nice. This should be very interesting. So with Akali and Nocturne there, they can definitely jump onto that Kog'Maw, and they can blow him up almost certainly. Sorry about that. So I'm very intrigued to see how these lineups pan out. So what do you see here? What do you think is going to be the stronger lineup here?
Honestly, I think it's going to be CLG. They have a few more CCs that are just steady and ready. You do have Room Prism and then a little bit of a CC from Shroud, but you can just go in. Saint Vicious is known to just, every time he has that flash up, he will utilize it to get that bear stance down and start to initiate. Hotshot's going to be able to lay that down. Big Fat LP with the ultimate. There's just so much stopping power right there for Kog'Maw to be able to sit on the outside, just get a little bit of a shield from elements, and just keep banging on those guys from outside the door.
That's true. It's going to be really reliant on how well elements and Hotshot play their disruption. Right. Big Fat LP can't really be trusted to use his ultimate just on the assassins. He's probably going to use it more as an initiation tool, but less than defensively.
As you said, again, the whole goal of the Scarra on Akali and Jat on Nocturne is to get that Chouster, that Kog'Maw that's going to try to stay in the back. So they're pretty much going to be able to just blow through that front door of defense. It's something you don't usually see. They can pass right through those champions, right to Kog'Maw and take them out. And that's going to really stop the fight and deter them from even wanting to do it. Saint Vicious is still going to be able to do a little bit of damage, and Cass can still start to poison, but that's only so focused when Kog'Maw can just start rolling out and really attack everybody to deter them from the fight. So when he's gone, that's going to be really bad for CLG.
Yeah, there's another thing to point out also is Dignitas has no dedicated tank. Nocturne is a bit durable. Ryze generally builds quite a bit of durability. Akali has some spell vamp, and the Shroud gives her a bit of armor and magic resist, but they have no dedicated tank. They have no hardcore initiator. They've got to basically hope that Nocturne can get in there and be disruptive, and they can just dive. But no one can pull them away from a turret. No one can really force them to die for a mistake unless they can just keep chasing with an assassin. And you've got HotshotGG, that bulwark. He puts it on the Kog'Maw, and Kog'Maw's going to not die for those 4 seconds. And you've got that paired up with the Elements shield, and if they work together, they can pretty much force Joust to survive those assassins. And we're gonna see if they can actually make that happen or not.
Yeah, it's gonna be an awesome game coming in here. I love seeing Locicero Ryze. That was awesome yesterday. He plays it very well, and he's one of those players with Ryze, quite squishy, but still stays in the fight until that last 100 HP. You play that game of bait / I can still do enough damage, and I know I can stay alive if I can get those skills off first. So very cool to see that happening. We're gonna see if they utilize that in game. They've been doing a very good job of just quickly breaking that line of sight as much as they need to come back into the fight and continue fighting in the fray. We'll see what these guys have. Once we get into the game, we're going to roll around the lanes and show you what it's all about. The dragon spawn, the baron spawn, the little quest that they can do here on the map to get themselves global gold. As they take down turrets as well, they will get global gold, and that will assist the team overall. You can go for something that'll give you global gold and lose a player and still be all right with that situation. So you'll see that coming into play a lot, those sacrifices, those little things here and there that can really accumulate to give you a lead in the game.
Yeah, indeed. So we're going down to the last 3 seconds now. The delay from spectator, we're going to be a minute behind. So, even if they could hear us, they would hear pretty much irrelevant information. Make sure that they're not gaining anything you're not supposed to. Map vision, of course, extremely important in League of Legends. If you know what your opponents are doing, that's a supremely good advantage.
Yes.
You're going to see a lot of sneaky plays here, especially from this Nocturne. He's actually this champion known for ganking champions from outside of sight range, showing up out of nowhere and getting these kills early on. And you're going to see that up at the top of the screen. There's going to be that scoreboard, the kills right now, of course, 0-0 as the game has just started. But we see that CounterLogic Gaming, the blue team spawning in the bottom left. You guys want to cheer for CLG and see them win? Let me hear you guys cheer in the audience. All right, and for the purple team in the top right, if you guys have any Dignitas fans out there, let me hear you guys. Decidedly less.
Yeah, we'll have to see. CLG has always been a big favorite. Rock Solid now coming under the Dignitas name have been doing very good things for themselves and are actually considered to be one of the teams to be reckoned with here in this tournament because of their lineup and because of their aggressiveness that all the players feel they're always a few steps ahead, and it's really scary to understand that the other team knows that, and every move you make is very cautious. So we really have to see how they play. As you can see, nobody's really going for the jungle invasion whatsoever. They're going to go ahead and hang out those bushes near Baron, as well as just put some traps down middle. They realize that Caitlyn got traps. They don't really want to do anything with it, so they're just going to hang back and cover everything they need to cover. They're going to be covering this little Wraith camp down in mid as well, and make sure none of those are stolen, since the junglers can somewhat counter each other. And if that jungle is messed up, it will really set you back quite a bit of time, and time is everything in League of Legends.
Absolutely the case. We can see some of the opening builds for these players. Rise opening with Overload. So shout out to Reddit, by the way, all you guys coming in from the Reddit community. We were reading a lot of the comments after the first day. You guys talking about the things that you liked and didn't like from the cast, and you said, hey, I really like when you guys hover over the tooltips and show us what these abilities are doing and how well they're opening their builds. So we're going to watch Cassiopeia opening with Q, boots, and potions. You can see down at the bottom of the screen they're opening builds for items. And as I click on these champions, you'll see their first abilities learned. So I'll try to give you guys that information throughout the game, especially for the star players. I'll let you kind of see what their builds ended up being.
It looks like no invasions right now as Freak slides through those builds, just showing you what's going on. Akali goes top, and it looks like that will be a Cass versus Akali up top. All right, that's going to be a pretty sweet lane. Akali is going to be very, very aggressive at level 6, but I believe Cass will win that early lane, and we're going to have Galio and HotshotGG, a very strong Galio, against the Cicero in mid, as well, a very high caliber Rise player, so that's going to be an awesome matchup there. Your supports and AD bottom. This game is underway. We are 2 minutes and 30 seconds in. The junglers are, actually, we already have an invasion by St. Vicious.
Yeah, he's coming through. He's already level 2. He's got that blue buff on him, and he's going towards the top, actually. I don't know if he's going to steal golems or try to gank Akali. Could go either way. We're going to watch him, and he's going up towards the golems. Okay, he's going to steal some jungles. That's pretty smart of him. Jack going to kill off some of these wraiths, but it's not going to do a whole lot for him because, by the way, Udyr pretty much being pro here with Phoenix and Turtle Stance, doing cool stuff. Big Fat LP has learned Twin Fang, so if he lands that Q, that Noxious Blast, he's going to go through and try to do a lot of damage. Akali, of course, staying in the rush, and he lands it. Here's a lot of damage there, but Scarra being pushed into that Twilight Shroud, getting that level 2. Pretty smart choice there, getting her out of the fight. But yeah, Cassiopeia actually known as a pretty good anti-melee champion. Oh, here's a fight in from Jat. Chases around St. Vicious a little bit, but doesn't get a whole lot out of it. St. Vicious, level 3, did a great job there. And Nocturne going to probably come down and grab the lizard.
He doesn't seem confident enough about it. There is a CV right there, actually. I think that was CLG, so they are going to go ahead. It looks like Jat may go for something of his own here onto Galio. I believe he does still have his flash up. Yes, he does, and it looks like if anything really happens in this one, he's just going to be able to flash out. You can see that Jat really hasn't been able to level up to 4. He does not have his fear yet, and Hotshot just calmly walks out of that situation.
Yeah, absolutely right. He did make Galio waste 1 spell. He used the Righteous Gust to get away. Jat did steal one of the jungle mobs with his W. Ooh, and a nice little... actually, no, he just missed the Q. Okay, I thought he was going to spell shield that, but Hotshot missed his Q. So now Hotshot actually very low on mana. That's actually very nice. I'm sure Dignitas happy about that. Made Hotshot waste a few spells. Going to make his laning a bit weaker, but Scarra still landing at the top of the map. Meanwhile, bot lane, PewDiePie getting a little bit hurt. Locust around there as well, but a lot of healing going off. Chowster has chugged 1 health potion only so far. And you can see at the bottom of the screen their last hits as they start laning throughout this game.
Looks like Scarra doing a pretty good job. He did go for those pots in the boots, so he has 3. That's about 600. It is 600 HP. He's going to be able to gain back in lane. They're deciding when he wants to use each one of those pots, 200 health apiece, over 20 seconds time. So it doesn't exactly happen, so you really have to trigger that when you think you're low or want to commit to a fight. You can really deceive your opponent and as you're gaining that HP back. Looks like Big Fat LP will back. He does have a good push on that lane. He shouldn't lose too much experience there, and he definitely is going to go back and grab, I believe, that Doran's ring, an award for himself to give him a little bit of lane sustain there, and he doesn't have to play as cautious. It looks like St. Vicious coming in. Bear stance. Bear stance will allow St. Vicious to move a little bit quicker, but he could not get the stun on as well. And it looks like Red has just been picked up by Jat, as he may decide to go for a gank here after he does the wraiths.
Udyr's a little bit ahead in experience overall. That Golem steal did actually put him ahead a little bit, but Jat's still running around the map. Of course, a very scary champion. We'll see if that ends up working out well for him. Scarra still actually landing quite well. You can see the last hits down here, 28 versus Caspia's 20. So, of course, Caspia did recall once, but Scarra doing a good job despite what could be considered a counter lane. Now, Big Fat LP forced to run to the backside. And here is Udyr, and Scarra's been spotted, but a nice Twilight Shroud. A very safe escape here. 0 damage even dealt, and look at this. The minions dropping to the turret. Caspia losing out on experience and gold. So a great escape by Scarra. Nice try by CLG, but Scarra read that one beautifully and came out scot-free.
Wow, it looks like Imaqtpie coming up strong here. Didn't do too much damage. Looks like he took a little bit, got punished for trying to push in that far, and they're both going to have to back here. Not going to have too much push on the lane as they're backing at the correct time. We said this before. You want to stay in lane as long as possible, but if you are going to back, you know, you want to make sure you're losing the least amount of XP so you can get back to lane and not give the other team an advantage. Galio still pushing up in mid. HotshotGG's farm usually up there, and it is 39. He has the highest of the game right now, doing a very good job of keeping the Cicero back on his heels at 36. So he's only 3 behind, but he is keeping him in the turret, and that is going to give the turret some nom-noms, as the Cicero will not be able to pick those up.
Yeah, so Scarra has now warded the river. He should be safe from now on from getting ganked. Udyr still rushing around the map, getting closer to level 6. Nocturne's going to be the really scary one at 6. So far only 5 on a third, but as soon as he hits 6, you're probably going to see him gank. In League of Legends, your champion learns abilities as they level up, and at level 6, they learn their ultimate, and Nocturne's ultimate is really awesome. So you're going to see that pretty soon. He'll yell, "Darkness!" and then people will start dying, most likely. And that'll be fun, but right now, Scarra still in against Big Fat LP. Cassiopeia level 6, doing a great job actually catching back up in minions and killing off minions quite well. And you can see actually, by the way, maxing Twin Fang, so if you're curious about the build for the pro level Cassiopeia, it's QEW. Oh, I missed the first blood. I'm sorry, guys. Udyr is over here and ganked bot. That's me being terrible. I was talking about abilities, and of course I missed first blood, as I normally do.
It looks like we did have that down bottom. They were able to grab the Sona. If you can see, Caitlyn was putting those traps down, but she was more hovering towards that mid bush. And even though they have a ward there, still, St. Vicious able to come and take that out. A very nice job. And we do see up top, as Scarra is being pushed, he's now level 6, and really, he could take out Big Fat LP quite quickly if he does his ultimate, you know, shrouds or allows Big Fat LP to ult, and that origin could just be off enough for Scarra to get in there and do a lot of damage without taking that ulti. So Big Fat LP has to be very careful with his ulti, since it is a cone in a direction and not a skill shot.
Yeah, indeed. So let's see what they can do with this. Cassiopeia gonna actually recall right now. Probably want some durability to deal with this Akali. Her ultimate, by the way, really awesome. Basically, just jump kicks you from sort of across the screen, and if lands it well, actually a great job by CLG. They're actually swapping lanes. They're gonna have Galio face now the extremely scary Akali, because it's gonna be a hard press to assassinate a tank. So that might work really well. He's kind of harassing down onto these minions. Scarra could go for the harass, might be worthwhile, and you can see actually the Q goes off here, and he might go for the pressure, and actually, yes, doing some damage now, baiting that bulwark. He could go in for it again. The Q goes off. He's actually going to stay back for now, but actually could harass down Hotshot. It's a possibility here.
All right, so during top fight, we did have first dragon take in about 8 minutes. We're going to see that come up at 14 minutes. It'll spawn every 6, so that'll be very big. At 14 minutes, you'll actually see pretty much just Dignitas. There was a CV that came from CLG, so they know the timing to an extent, and they're all going to start heading down that way. You'll kind of see them all start to shift a little bit, trade lanes, and make sure they can get that dragon. That is the global gold we were talking about before, and that is the thing that can accrue and start to accumulate and giving you that lead in the game. Right now, in 9 minutes, it is 1-0, as St. Vicious was able to come up with that first blood, assisting onto Kog'Maw. That is grabbing that assist. Chowster and Elements on the bottom, so it's really good money for them. them. A good thing to have the more XP against the opposing team. And Chauster, wow, just shooting out the artillery. Actually gets both of them with one. That twofer was very nice.
Yeah, he's playing that one really, really well. That's really good play. You can see Cassiopeia still maxing out on that twin thing, doing a great job. Akali maxing Q, getting points in E as well. Looks at HotShot's build. Maxing actually Righteous Gust and then nothing else so far on the maxing. So for those who are still looking at builds, I'm giving you a little bit of that information. St. Vicious maxing Phoenix Dance, 2 in Turtle. Let's see. Nocturne max Q. Yeah, everyone's like level 7, so you can have like one ability max and nothing else really gained. Chauster maxing W, Elements maxing Shield.
Oh, Jat almost crossing paths with St. Vicious there, but they do have very nice wards. Again, mirroring each other here. You can see the wards being placed down. And another one, this is all vision for their teams in positions you can't be, and you can see where your enemy is. It really, really helps, and it gives you such a big advantage. And you'll see these being placed throughout the game. Later, within mid to late game, you'll see oracles being purchased, which is going to float over their head as a pink eye. They're going to be able to see invisible units and wards placed around the map. And you really want to decrease the vision that the opponents have on you. And it, like I said, it just gives you such an advantage, and it's a huge part of the League of Legends meta.
Yep, absolutely. We're just going to sort of see these guys go around the map as they complete their builds. Chauster going in with a pickaxe, so that might be a fast Infinity Edge right now. There's only a few items that builds into. Normally these players do not go Bandits. Blood Razor on Kog'Maw. Normally standard AD and just sort of use the W for the range as opposed to the necessarily for the proc damage. And we're going to see this, the rest of the builds come through. Cassiopeia still with Doran's Rings, recalling now for some items. We'll see how they end up playing that build out.
HotShot still kind of harassing Scarra, neither really losing too much health. Scarra getting that revolver. He is going to be able to heal himself every so often, so HotShot never really putting out too much burst at the moment, really building tanky for his team. That's going to be helpful for them. Those are just going to bout it out and pretty much farm top lane for now. You're not going to see too much coming from there until the team fights begin from those two. Rise in middle. Cicero still doing what he can to farm it up. This is what you're going to see for the beginning of the game in League of Legends. They farm as much as they can and really rely on the jungle coming out. Whoa, we got a crescendo coming out from Sona. The ulti onto Nocturne down bottom. A beautiful ulti by Elements, and it does keep Chauster alive. They were able to take down ultis. HotShot coming out of nowhere with the teleport. Huge damage being reverted onto Locust. Sona is forced out of this fight, but I don't think anybody's going to go down here. Just a lot of damage being traded. And wow, great job by HotShot to come down and turn that one around for his team. Pretty much push Dignitas off of what could have been a lot of tower damage.
Yeah, they did a great job there. HotShot with the teleport came in there, did a lot of defense. You can see IMaqtpie continuing the last hit, has survived this battle. They're pinging around. You said that the Dragon was coming back at 14 minutes, you said?
14, yes.
Okay, so we got another 2 minutes to wait on that one, but Scarra, of course, pushing the wave against the basically vacant HotshotGG, so a lot of free farm there. A great overall survival. Uh-oh, IMaqtpie gonna get jumped on by St. Vicious and everyone else. There's the flash. Can they get the kill? Almost right there. And there it is, a nice job picked up there by Chauster. Yeah, he stayed around a little bit too long. That was a ward for CLG in that brush, and that let them see that he was retreating over there, and that was a nice kill picked up. So well played by them. They're pushing on through another turret. Locust is alone. Locust could get dived here. Elements has some crowd control available. They're going to do a lot of damage to this turret. Oh, wow, taking a lot of damage there from Kog'Maw and from Janna.
Wow,
so,
that's an early turret. Very nice job.
Yeah, well played by CLG. They lost the first dragon, but they're up 2 kills, and now they've gotten their first turret. They're finally ahead in gold for almost the first time this game. But wow, Scarra putting out the pain on a HotShot, down to half health already, and HotShot is not close to leveling, which means he's going to have to take a long time before he gets the proc on that catalyst and gets any health back.
Yeah, it's something he needs to worry about now. Obviously, Galio scaling from building that magic resist, so he's going to be all right late game. But yeah, right now, Scarra can do a lot of damage, and they're equal levels. So, you know, HotShot knows he cannot fight that at this point if he's taking that much damage. Scarra being very cautious about where he's using his skills, but still using them to kind of draw and bait out HotShot for some attacks onto him, and then he can punish once more. Going down in the mid lane, looks like Rise is backed. Jat will take over that mid lane with the red buff. And we will see Big Fat LP back into mid as well.
Yes, indeed. So they have kept these lane assignments. They have not swapped Scarra around and let Rise do with Galio. They're like, you know, you can just stay top. It's cool. We're going to have Rise come down and help team fights later. 30 seconds until the Dragon respawn. HotShot farming quite well in the meantime. His teleport will be down, so we're going to see if, I guess Akali's going to go back up towards top lane. They could have sent Akali bot and had her help kill Dragon. They would have given up a lot of turret damage to do so, but that might have been worth it. But we're going to move on down. Blue Elf's going to respawn. It's going to be really, really nice for Rise. They're going to really want that to help. And actually, nope, HotShot's heading down. They do know the Dragon timing, and he's going to go and help with that. That's really smart by CLG. Has been called out, and they're going to have him help do this. Cassiopeia going to go ahead and farm this golem, and yeah, Scarra knows as well. They're going to head down. Dignitas already starting on it, but it's going to be a little bit dangerous. Actually, they know these guys are far. They might have to get it in time.
Wow, looks like they're going to get a free dragon here. The ulti on to deter away. Good shield by Elements.
Wow, well
Kog'Maw not taking too much damage. There's 300 free gold, or actually more than that, 380 I should say. Free gold that they have just picked up for each other as it is global, and they will be able to use that highly to their advantage. Another item for the ADs and a little bit of XP and hopefully a level for the APs, since that's how they both pretty much complement each other's levels.
Yeah, so yeah, 190 gold picked up.
Oh, St. Vicious taking good damage there from Scarra.
Yep, 190 gold for each dragon. That's the 380 you're talking about.
Yep.
Each dragon worth 190 gold for each member of the team. And you do that twice, and suddenly you've got a pretty rich team. And you can see 18,600 gold versus 18,100, the two dragons. Despite being down 2 champion kills, losing their only turret, they're actually winning in overall power because they've gotten these objectives for themselves. That's a really, really good play. You can see now, Lo Cicero still pushing through in mid, has that Tear of the Goddess, stacking up that mana. Chester right below, still spamming up. We're going to see who has the most gold right now. Who's rich? 4K, 4K, 4K. Yeah, basically 3 guys on each team at 4,000 gold. The exact highest, 4,400 on Scarra. So a very rich Akali. Gonna be happy about that.
You know, this is what the teams are talking about. That they prepped their lanes for the push, and they weren't in whatsoever visibility when they left their lane. So they pretty much got to Dragon. You know, Hotshot was coming down because you did see Scarra leave lane, but they were those 3 steps ahead that everybody's been saying Dignitas can make happen, and it's really giving them a big advantage right now.
And you saw, I mean, and you even saw CLG know about it, right?
Right.
You know, he's like, okay, come down, come on down, come on down, come on down. And Hotshot got down to mid lane, but oh, by the way, they're already there on the respawn.
Yeah.
And that was such a good play from Dignitas. This is definitely going to keep them in the game by quite a bit, even though they have lost those lanes a little bit. The great ganks from Udyr so far have gotten them both kills. St. Vicious playing amazingly so far. But, you know, dragons are dragons, and that's half your job as a jungler is controlling those buffs for your team and making those calls and making sure that they do stuff about this. St. Vicious is clearing wards out. That's a very good play by him. He's got that Oracle's Elixir that you talked about earlier, that pink little eyeball that was his head. Lets him see those wards, and you can see the map vision for both these teams with those ward clearings. There's not a lot of vision over here from Dignitas. They have very, very scarce visibility, whereas CLG, actually, they're not even warding that much better. They've just been clearing wards for the most part. They've not really gained significant advantages.
Looks like bottom lane still being pushed a little bit. Chowsker feeling all right about this push. They have good wards on Dragon, so he's not going to get pinched from the backside. They can push that lane and feel very safe about it.
And here comes St. Vicious up from the top. The Scarra getting pushed back to his turret, and the Bulwark is on, but he's got Oracle, so the invisibility doesn't matter, and Hotshot's still not really dying. The tankiness is massive. They just dove that turret. Wow. Amazing job by these two. Hotshot puts on the Bulwark, and St. Vicious refuses to take damage because of that. that was really, really nice.
That was a really smart idea. They went in there strong. They knew they had the oracles, and she was even sitting in the shroud, and they were just like, nope, we're gonna make this happen, like you said. Yeah. So St. Vicious back to his jungle, doing a very nice job. That early oracles really helping their team. We see that Sona has not been able to grab one yet. Looks like Jat will take top lane and start to farm himself up. Looks like their jungle is a little scarce now, and the lanes are being pushed, so they're gonna have to grab any XP that they can. They'll see if St. Vicious starts to go and start jungle invading to deny those resources.
Yeah, I'm just kind of mousing through all the champions real quick, then you guys see what they're up to. If your eyes are quick enough, you can see what the build is for your favorite champion. Just giving you guys that information, because we got, you know, the downtime in the lanes, and you guys said you liked it, so here you go. So let's see, Rise heading back. Looks like Golem will not actually it should be respawning in about a minute and a half or so. Scarra actually finally has finished Gunblade, and is going to be heading towards the bottom. He's going to start assassinating. Let's see if they can do this. Definitely really want. Yeah, they're gonna go through the river.
Caitlyn pretty farmed up, doing 417 damage with the Q. We'll see if she can get one of those off. Although consecutively doing less damage as it travels through enemies. If you take the brunt of that, that's gonna do a lot of damage. And Caitlyn can usually solo somebody if they're far enough away with the Q, a few shots, and a quick ulti. So somebody definitely to be reckoned with. IMaqtpie will be causing a lot of damage in these fights to come up here. St. Vicious burying around his jungle so he can just make those movements, get back into a scenario where he can get some XP, and continue that on. Looks like Hotshot still staying top. HotshotGG continuing to do what he does. And we are going to see a little bit of a tussle here. I don't think they saw Scarra. They did not. They're going to walk right into him here. Scarra's like, I can't even shroud. I need to get out of this situation. Did he?
Oh, wow. They got out of the range just in time. BigFatalP did not land the ultimate. Great play by these guys. BigFatalP did burn Flash, but let's look at Akali did not, and neither did Rise. So that was just Akali ult, jumping to a minion just in time. And actually, they might want to use this time to initiate, because now Big Fat LP, without the ultimate and without flash, they can destroy his face. He has no durability at all.
Pretty low on mana, no blue as well.
Yeah, no magic resist, only 1,500 health. Akali could definitely just full combo that Cassiopeia down, and I think they should try for it, but oh, CLG going to steal the blue. Really good timing by them. The whole team is coming in there, and I don't think we're going to get stopped. This is a great play by them.
There is not going to stop, but they may go for the re-steal. They do have a ward there. They have full vision of this. Rise is going to go for a Q as it comes around, and he does not get it. Same vicious smites, and he quickly goes for Cutie Pie, but the ward's in the bush, and it's going to be Nocturne's ulti coming out. Gets the fear on St. Vicious, and he could be going down. I believe he has those Merc Treads, though, and it just saved his life, possibly. Breaking out of that with the tenacity a little bit early than he would have, and they are going to be able to safely get out of this one, but look at the HP that they had to take to make that happen. Not good. That was very dangerous for them. And great warding by Dignitas. Really, they weren't able to get their blue, but still, they let them know, we're a force to be reckoned with. I dare you to try that again.
But you know what's great for Dignitas is Hotshot burned his teleport, so now Scarra is again pushing top lane. It's not dying too quickly. I think she needs to spend more time hitting the turret, but also, you said that second turret is 14 minutes, which means around 20 minutes is the next one, and they're pinging for it. And again, you know, Elements and Joust are a little bit low. Hotshot running back towards top. Cassiopeia and Udyr have returned, but they could get the dragon in time if they hurry up. If it spawns in time for them. And there it is. They're going to try to get it in time. Actually, they're pretty much far. They could get this. This third dragon's going to be huge. Scarra did take that turret. Hotshot's heading over, though. They could get caught. They've got to be careful. They need to run right now. Cutie Pie playing too aggressively. It's going to be a 4v5 if they stay in, but CLG's going to back off. They know where they are with ward coverage, so you know they lost the golem, but Dragon generally, unless they win a team fight with the golem, they're okay to sort of trade like this. And I think they're actually going to be all right. They've got those 3 deaths. They've lost the golem, but they've now equalized turrets and they've gotten that dragon. And they're up 3,000 gold because of it.
That's quite scary. I mean, there's still obviously a comeback chance for CLG, but none of these dragons have even been contested. You know, they threw out some artillery there, but they just kind of stay in that bottom bush. They don't go around. The positioning obviously isn't there, and you're not just going to run into dragon. That's not what I'm saying. But still, to go around to show presence, show that you have throw a few skills out there, you know, kind of deter them from doing dragon, but there's nothing has happened. They've gotten each one without even getting an attack from CLG onto that dragon, so quite scary for CLG.
Chasing Hotshot at the top of the map, of course. Most of that damage went through the bulwark, so not a lot was actually done there. But if you look at the gold, you see that both junglers, despite St. Vicious getting first blood and those 2 other assists, right? Equal gold to this Nocturne. And meanwhile, you see 3 champions for Dignitas above 6,000. The first just now reaching that for CLG. So, I mean, there's a lot of wealth here.
Looks like we have 2 in middle here. Elements is going to meet up with Big Fat. He did grab that blue buff. You'll see now, as we discussed yesterday, the jungle usually grabbing that blue buff, but they will donate it to a member of the team that requires it a little bit more, and Big Fat LP is one of them. Also, Cicero for Dignitas would be that champion that they would give blue to. The Golem, Crest of the Ancient Golem, will give you a buff to your mana. It regens it quite quickly, a lot faster than usual, as well as your cooldowns are reduced quite a bit, so you can just keep spamming your spills. Sometimes mean lower cooldowns means more damage. You don't actually have to build damage if you can just do it over and over and over again. So we'll see that coming into play as Nocturne coming out of the jungle with his red as well. That's going to be able to slow his target as well as do a little bit of burn damage as he can get the auto attacks on. Still, wards being placed all over, wards and traps down bottom in the river. Everybody's just kind of farming up here, gathering for the power in numbers, and we may see somebody get picked off for a fight here. A great early Banshee's Veil from their Cicero, and that's definitely going to help in that team fight for Galio on his ultimate.
Yeah, that could have been some aggression right there. Cicero did spam out a little bit. And again, without a healer on the team, that damage is more or less permanent. Chester has that, you know, 1.5 health per second or so regen, but you know, it's gonna only so slowly finally tick back in.
Looks like everybody's kind of moving up towards middle here. We got 3 coming through the jungle. Chaucer meets up. Well, Scarra trying to come around. It looks like he may have jumped on Big Fat for an ulti and then walked out of that situation with a shroud, but he wants nothing of it. The artillery coming out. Chaucer kind of giving way that they see him. A little bit of an initiation there, but after they hear the bear stance from St. Vicious, everybody kind of thinks twice about the situation. We're not going to get any fight out of that in mid. Back to their lanes for a little bit of farming here, Freak. And 23 minutes into the game, it is 3-0 CLG, but it is 28,000 gold to 30,000 gold. Looks like Dignitas is still holding that lead.
Yep, and so far Cutie Pie did survive that one, recalled in time, got away from Udyr. See Hotshot staying up top, just harassing down to these minions. Scarra, I mean, the Banshee though already there is going to really hurt Scarra's damage output, and he's going to go for a little bit. Some damage being dealt inside of a minion wave, and actually spellvamping a lot of that back. Has not built another item yet, but Nocturne and Udyr dueling out on the right-hand side of the map, both equal level, but I can't quite tell who's farther ahead. Level 13 on each. Items are pretty close. Not quite sure. Looks like Randuin's Omen going to be the item choice here. He's got pretty much most of the base pieces for it, so St. Vicious going to be getting that. We see Hotshot coming towards middle. It's going to be a team fight rather soon. Locust actually took a lot of damage here. He's got to be careful. Cicero taking some damage as well.
They're doing some good damage to that turret. It would be nice to get a second one for CLG. They need that global gold pickup that they haven't gotten so often. So it's 18, which was 24, right? Wouldn't the dragon be up?
No, it was 20.
20, all right, so 26,
14,
yeah, 14, 20, not 18, 24.
Yeah.
So they are going to have another minute and a half before they come up with this. We'll have to see what they do. It looks like they do have the ward in the bush still, but they're going to go for it. It looks like Hotshot loses his Banshee's Veil, and we are going to have a fight here. Nocturne ulti goes out. Will he go onto it? It looks like he has focused St. Vicious. Was this the right thing to do? He is able to take a lot of damage. They haven't taken anybody out yet, and Big Fat is kind of getting cornered here. Udyr finally falls. Scarra able to take down 2. Scarra taking down 3 for the triple kill. Can he come up with another one? A very nice job as Scarra stays in the fight, and 5 members of Dignitas stand strong after an awesome Crest of the Ancient Golem battle.
And I want to point out that Locust won that fight for them by himself. So here's Locust, right? Hotshot flashes in right here. Locust is like, dance! The second he casts his ult, breaks it immediately. That was so good. So if someone's recording this, Locust's going to make a skill video about me fawning over how amazing that ult was, because Locust won that fight for his team. Scar's going to get all the credit. He's going to get all the credit, but it was Locust. It was Locust 100%. And now Scarra jumping on a Chowster. One more Shadow Dash. Can he get it? The Q come off from Caitlyn. Elements running with him. Scarra has blue buff. Does he have charges with the ultimate?
Where's the ulti?
There's the Q.
Wow.
It's not up yet. He's got another second to go. But they got Baron.
Yes, they did, and that is huge right now.
Wow.
Dignitas coming out so strong. Everything they do almost seems unchallenged, and they just continue to go through it. They had a perfect positioning in that fight. Like you said, Locust coming out strong, and they all stood at it with the mentality that they were going to win it. Nobody faltered or second guessed, and that's what you need in team fights.
But a good comeback here from CLG. I mean, they're not over at all. Only 5,000 gold.
Not at all.
The kills are only equal now. They certainly have a good chance here. They certainly skill in the late game too. Kog'Maw will out-damage a Caitlyn. Akali will be scary, but again, they do have the ability to support. Wow, Akali has a death cap. So not Riley's, but death cap. Pure damage output Akali. That's actually really scary.
Udyr going bottom. St. Vicious going to get a little bit of this farm on, as well as push that lane up so they can't quickly take down a turret if they want to go for any split pushing. We do have Dragon, another one being taken here, and this could be huge for them. They could be going for their 4th now, and they're going to get it again uncontested. Dignitas just rolling in the gold right now. Pass go, collect it all, and they're going to head back into their jungle to continue to collect their resources.
Yes, indeed. And you're going to see that they're going to, collecting resources is exactly what they're doing. Scarra almost level 18, getting a lot of resources. And let's see, individual gold, 9,200 on that Akali. 2,000 gold above everyone. Oh, I guess only 1,000 above Caitlyn, but hey, on his team, so doing a great job. Individual gains actually really significant for Dignitas. This is actually really, really good from them.
Looks like, ooh, very nice. Akali picking up the Negatron Cloak. Going to be able to do a little more magic resistance there. Actually, a lot more magic resistance. She'll be able to stay in the fight quite a bit longer, especially with Cassiopeia laying down Miasma and Galio's ulti as well. So we'll have to see Caitlyn taking the bottom turret down. The global gold surmounting by 7K CLG's gold right now. It's 33.6 to 40,000 gold. Dignitas is really making this happen for themselves right now, and they are not giving CLG any room to move.
Yeah, and they are definitely going for the front door right now, hitting that turret up a little bit, taking a bit of damage here. They're going to go ahead and back and hit back and forth a little bit. Of course, they have Baron buff and Sona for sustain, so the longer they poke like this, the better. You can see Sona actually rushing for that Shurelya's Reverie. Really huge, great initiation or even anti-initiation item. They've jumped in, got one turret. Yep, Akali jumped in, dealt a bunch of damage to elements. Again, they have no sustain on this team, so any harassment they get is actually massive right here. And again, they're going for the turret damage. They'll take a bit here. They should be a little bit afraid. If they get jumped to this turret, they could lose the fight really hard. And you see Jat taking so much damage. A great pickup there, Big Fat LP. Just as I was saying, they got a little bit too aggressive, a little bit too
as
eager.
As soon as you said it.
Yep, and they did die. That was a little unfortunate.
So it looks like we will have them stopping in middle here for a little bit of a minion wave clearing, and they should be pushing quite hard after this. They may want to grab a turret off of that, but I don't know if they have the power or / minions to do it since they are all gone. Hotshot doing his thing up top, just staying alone, farming the entire game, and that's really going to become big because, you know, it may look like he does not have much now, but he's going to be one of the most farmed at the end of the game because that is his style of play, and hopefully as the tank for his team, he can continue to do so. But like we said before, they have a lot of jump, and Dignitas is doing exactly that. They're jumping right past all of the skills of CLG and taking out those pivotal fighters of that team fight, and it's really coming out for them. They just came out 5 strong on that last one where Elements had to get away by himself, and it's not looking good for CLG right now, but still anybody's game.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, the thing is, there's so many different ways these fights can take place. Scarra's got to be careful. He's getting jumped on pretty hard, trying to get away from Big Fat LP. And the flash comes in as well. This is very scary. Scarra needs a friend. He's getting poisoned still. Big Fat LP chasing quite well, but looks like he'll live. But yeah, so there's a lot of ways these fights can happen. The fight down to the bottom jungle was very much about sort of people kind of being scrappy and sort of moving back and forth and getting into weird positions. And that's really where the Dignitas team is going to shine, because Nocturne and Akali can get away from that Galleon, get away from Janna and all that. You saw the Galleon ult hit Caitlyn and Sona. It didn't hit, you know, Akali and those champions. So in the really sort of dense, you know, fights in the middle of the jungle, or the dense fights in a lane, that's much scarier and much better for CLG. And
Great
you see
TV.
Wow, Elements taking so much damage. Nocturne's in there. Elements could fall, but a great flash ult can keep them alive. Caitlyn ult's going to come down as well. That will actually take him. Oh my gosh, you're kidding. And oh, that is a dance. And Chauster drops immediately to Akali. There's the Galio. It's going to hurt a lot, but they could keep going in on this. Akali's killed Kog'Maw. There's another kill being down. And oh my gosh, they're cleaning up. And only Hotshot's alive. Oh my gosh. Oh wow. Locust falls, but that was nice.
It's one after the other. It's not working, but they continue to do it fight after fight. They lose at blue for Dignitas.
Yeah.
They walk in there, and that CV was right on top of them. They had pretty much no vision of Dignitas. Why would you run into the jungle and ask for that to happen?
Yeah, that was a repeat of the last fight. What I really enjoyed, though, was Scarra jumped into the Galio ult.
Yeah, like as soon as it was ending, that was awesome.
Well, no, he jumped in and got taunted. Like, he was like, hey, let me take some damage real quick. But, I mean, they won, okay, whatever, but, like, he kind of just jumped in, like, willingly getting attacked. I don't know, I guess he did have Cleanse Slash, so maybe he jumped in, cleansed it, and then went for the damage output. I didn't watch closely enough. So maybe he actually made the right call. I just felt like making fun of him. That's what I do here in my soapbox.
All right, so here we go. They're just kind of farming it out mid, making sure nothing can happen. Still pinging the jungle. Maybe did they see somebody there? They want to invade again. They're being quite antsy right now. CLG is looking for that one fight to start taking over. Element's kind of wandering alone as he clears wards. Not really what they want to do. He is using CV, so he's being careful about the situation, which is good since they really need to do that right now. Galio, Hotshot going back to top. That's totally new, never happened before. Chauster looks like he's going to go bottom lane, try and push this out, but it is quite pushed already. So I think they're kind of denied of resources right now. Dignitas is just doing a very good job of staying in their face as well.
And we're going to see as they start getting close to each other, Scarra nearby. They do want to steal blue, maybe even try for Baron. It's going to be a little bit scary for these guys. I'm just going through the builds once more. You can see a lot of Merc treads kind of everywhere. Cooldown boots on Sona, it's pretty nice. A lot of regen from that Shirelia's Reverie. Go ahead and mouse over that for you guys real quick. A lot of stats there. A nice active for your team. Boost your team up for 3 seconds, make them run around real quick. You can see Phantom Dancer being, or actually at least Zeal being on, Infinity Edge and Zeal being on both the range carries here, but looks like going for a Cleanse Sash now is Imaqtpie.
Definitely a lot of focus on this Baron right now. It may be coming up soon. They will be there for it, and definitely there to put down the defensive structure if anything happens. A throw down that wall of a crescendo, and Akali and Jat just coming in to pound
Lucas has wards. There we go. So they're like, I guess is Scarra saying I'm gonna bait them. You go Baron, because the purple team is pinging those, and then now CLG pings and says, hey, look out, there's a ward here probably. Let's go clear this, and there's Elements leading the way, and yeah, they're gonna drop that ward, and just a lot of kind of baiting on both sides. Dignitas gonna go around the back. Scarra kind of alone. I don't think they want to spread out this much, just because if they get caught, they could die right away because they have so much burst potential with Chauster, Big Fat LP, HotshotGG. Anybody just can jump in there with the bear stun. Scarra, this is a very scary place for Scarra to be. Oh, this could be really good for CLG. That could be really, really, really good. He's jumping onto Big Fat LP. They're all jumping down though onto Jat. There's the ult coming in. This is scary. Nice Sona dance. Can they pick up one? They picked up LP. Now it's on everyone else. Chauster is low. Scarra hurt as well. Scarra could drop down extremely low on health. Staying alive just barely. The true damage could blow him up. Almost about to die. Still alive. Are you serious? And now everyone else, Saint Fish is getting picked up. Another set of kills. Elements lives. Dignitas barely surviving. Scarra with no one else to hit him. Barely living through that one.
Thanks,
Wow.
Gunblade.
Yeah, seriously, thanks, Gunblade. I'm impressed with it. I was scared for the Dignitas right there because they jumped in and like it was great because you saw the damage being dealt and he was kind of pulling back and the whole CLG team was right here in a nice little ball and Nocturne went in anyway and they still managed to pick up those kills. A colleague insta-gibbed that poor Cassiopeia. You see those little stones right there. That's the death of Cassiopeia right there.
In before Scarra West Rice 1v1 mid.
It's solo top though. Solo top.
That's
not
true.
mid.
This is true. So let's see what they got on this push. It looks like they will be able to take this turret out. Caitlyn just firing off there. Won't be able to proc that headshot on the turret, but she will be able to keep it for somebody who comes up next. Not even worried about the artillery. But oh, where's she going? I guess that was a smart move. I figured she thought the minion would take it, but no, she is just saving herself. Very smart. It looks like Scarra denying red, and he will be able to take that. Just making his way out of the jungle. Oh my, what are you doing? Oh wow, actually hitting. Do they have a CV there? I do not see any wards, but it looks like they will start to chase.
Oh.
Getting the flash on. Oh, flash is
Smart.
over the wall, though, after the exhaust. It looks like he wanted to use his ultimate, but again, oh no, it is down, so he could not have used his ultimate.
So what that was so they knew that their lizard was respawning, right? It respawned for them, and they're like, it's gone.
Yeah.
Akali stole it, so he checks the brush with Noxious Blast. So that's
yes,
really
you're
smart, basically guessing by Big Fat LP, saying, hey, it's gone. It's probably you. Let's check. And then they were right. And the thing is, he almost baited it too, because Udyr stayed back, and it was like, if you come at me, Udyr's gonna stun you and you're gonna die.
Yeah.
So it was a really cute move there. He almost got a bait kill, which would have been a great turnaround there. But overall worked really well. And Akali got out. Did burn their flash though, so that was smart. That was smart by Big Fat LP. Burn Akali's flash, so he can maybe escape next time. Big Fat LP does need some MR. Ultimately has not bought any new Magicus items. Let's see what his gold is. Actually, with 1,000 gold, he should really just. I know the wards are nice, but he needs a Negatron cloak. Really badly needs a Negatron cloak.
And you can still get wards.
And yeah,
unless you're full.
You can sell a Doran's ring for it or something,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But he's been dying first. He needs some MR. HotshotGG is not. The bulwark is not enough to keep him alive.
Looks like they will be pushing off here. The fear is going to land, but not do too much there. Just kind of stands him still. Jat just trying to cause a little bit of trouble for these guys. Blow some skills off, and we are going to have them pushing up here. They have a pretty good minion wave, a regular one. No siege coming down on them. Every few minion waves will have a siege minion in it, and once we see these inhibitors go down, we will see the super minions start to fly out. Let's see if they got this coming in. They are laying down the traps. Very nice by Caitlyn. That's a great deterrent on the turret. Hotshot trying to do some damage here. It looks like St. Vicious tries to initiate, but he gets hit by Caliburnet. They will turn around to focus. Jat onto St. Vicious. Jat not going down. Enough HP steal to get himself back up with the heals of Sona, and it just does not look like they can penetrate the defensive wall of Dignitas in a face-to-face fight. They were even right off the turret, and Dignitas just kept bringing it to him, taking out an inhibitor there, playing a very strong game right now.
Yeah, actually, this is a very interesting team from Dignitas. Like, they've managed to initiate the fights properly, and when they get jumped on, it seems like there's no targets available. Okay, yeah, so Jonah did have an Oracle, so, I mean, Akali was there and available. They managed to go for Jat instead, I think was the mistake.
Wow.
What's up? Oh, the surrender vote came in, yeah, so
There
that
it
is
is.
GG. Game 1!
Woo.
Going to Team Dignitas.
Wow.
That's a surprise to most of us, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, for sure.
That's impressive. That is Scarra being a boss.
Yeah,
That
was an
that's
amazing
Locust also,
game.
that Locust save. I mean, the first team fight, the game definitely snowballed a bit. They kept getting the dragons. That was really good. They did a lot of good things. That first fight was the fight where the game could have turned to either way, and that was Locust. Perfect ult from Sona. Just the runway lights flowing down. Galio making his moves, man. You know me, I like to dance, and so does Galio apparently, and that really won them that fight. They would have lost that whole back line there to that Galio taunt, but he broke it immediately, made the rest of them dance. Akali got to clean up, picked up 3 kills, and they kept the pressure on, and they kept those fights, and they were all so close too. We kept seeing them get like 10% health and then live.
It's almost like what was happening to the other teams yesterday that were getting 2-0'd is the fight would happen and they would come out really, really low, but Dignitas just continued to push even in that low state. We saw some teams falter there. Dignitas continued to push forward, continued to dominate, and that was an amazing game. CLG really faltering on that one. To go after so many blues and lose, to go out like toy with Baron so much, it just seems like that situation for them never worked, but they tried it over and over again.
Yeah, and you're right. And you talked just a second ago about faltering when you get low in the pushes, and Dignitas never over-aggressed. And some of them scared me so much. I like seeing underdogs win, and Dignitas kind of the underdog to CLG. It's always fun to see like the teams come out of nowhere, and you're like, oh, so they're amazing, and oh, geez, okay, well that was awesome. And so, you know, it's so fun to see those underdogs come through. But we will, of course, have a game 2. CLG, definitely known as a team who loses game 1 and wins the rest of the series.
Yeah.
They are the anti-SK in that regard. They will lose game 1, but they will win the rest. And I believe in them. I think they will definitely pull it to at least a 3rd game. And we're going to see him, you know, do a lot of really smart things here. The first pick Udyr did pretty well, but, you know, Jat still came through with Nocturne. But ultimately, we are going to be back with game 2 after this commercial, so stay tuned. More games coming up.